So a lot of the time people struggle to make changes in their life. They feel like they're a victim of their circumstances rather than the keeper of their habits. Now in this video I'm going to explain to you a controlled, systematic, methodical way that you can control your own behaviour over a lasting period of time to make long-term changes, be it making money, losing weight, self-development, or even going in play. I promise you this is the most powerful thing that you can do if you want to make a lasting change. It's like a script that you can pull out and deploy in any situation. So before we start, I want to introduce you to the 4 different areas of behavioural cycles, which is attention, the need or want, the craving, the action, and then the appreciation or reward, which then sends a cycle back round to the start. So it's very clear, very simple, as you may expect. However, the interesting part becomes when you start to consciously be aware and adapt that cycle and process of behaviour. So for example, attention is reliant on some kind of prompt a lot of the time. You may think to having a cup of coffee, for example. You have to see the cup of coffee or be aware that it's available in the first instance. Second of all, you have the deficiency phase, which is the need or the want. So you've got to want to drink a cup of coffee, or you need to have some kind of craving on some format, maybe caffeine, whatever. Third of all, you need to have the action. You actually drink the coffee before pushing you on to the 4th phase, which is appreciation. Obviously you felt satisfied and therefore when you see a coffee again, you're more likely to repeat that cycle of behaviour. Very simple. Coffee is harmless. This is absolutely fine. However, when we think about those more negative things in your life, or the things that you want to make more positive, you can manipulate and control this structure to put yourself in a more permanent benefit over a longer extended period of time. The goal is to become someone you want to be rather than achieve the objective that you currently seek. After all, you are just a lagging indicator of your previous routine. So here's a couple of examples to help you process what I'm saying. So typically a modern problem might be the fact that people have now become addicted to their phones. You're consistently served notifications which then grab your attention, which may leave you with a craving, I don't know, to watch a YouTube video, which drives you to take the action, click the notification and watch the video before feeling wholly satisfied by watching the video, just like this one. By the way, if you haven't already, give this video a quick thumbs up. Now, that may be deemed as a negative cycle of behaviour, particularly if overlap with another modern problem, working from home. People find themselves getting distracted a lot more often, watching YouTube videos, snacking, not going out so much. Now, all of these are built around the process of attention, craving, action, and satisfaction, reward, whatever you want to call it. So the trick is to be aware of this cycle of behaviour, look at those things surrounding you, decide what is a problem, and then be crystal clear on the definition of what the issue is, what you want to do to remedy it, what behaviour you want to replace it with, and what new cycle you'd like to experience instead. For example, why not look at all those notifications on your phone now, decide which ones you actually need and want, which ones actually benefit your life, and which ones are just draining away your time, feeding you stuff that you really don't need, and then delete them. By doing that, you'll have taken away the prompt, which initiates the behaviour in the first place. The craving is likely to be weaker, and over a period of time it will become weaker, even more so. You won't take the action, and then it won't be fulfilled, so you won't go back round on this cycle of behaviour. A simple way to remember it is good habits are your friend and bad habits are the enemy. It's also worth noting at this point that the company you keep affects all of those habits, prompts, cues at the same time too. So right now, if you're finding this video useful, then please set yourself up with a meaningful prompt and cue so you see more videos that are going to benefit you just like this by tapping the like button down below and subscribing to the channel. But the best bit's to come, because I'm about to give you a specific example of how you can remedy and create a different environment. So when you're making a plan, it's really important to be clear and defined. The more clear you are and the more defined you are about the specifics in your plan, the more likelihood of you actually succeeding. So first of all, you want to ask yourself when, where, and how. So we're going to assume that working at home has become a little bit of a problem for you. Maybe you're not used to it. You find yourself getting distracted, watching things like YouTube right now. you start snacking, you're not going to the gym so much, and you're just not generally getting out and about. Now, what cues, prompts, rewards are creating this behaviour, and how can we change them? First of all, I want to suggest if you're finding yourself distracted working from home, then you want to install plugins for some of your browsers, such as Stay Focused. That'll allow you to make a list of websites to block throughout the day at certain periods of time, or allow you a certain amount of time on those websites. So when you go to take that action, you're actually given a different cue, a different prompt. You're given a screen image like this, which says, shouldn't you be in focus and shouldn't you still be working? You might even want to consider adding some other websites to that list too, such as Facebook. So next up, assuming you've got an exercise problem, you're no longer going to the gym, you may not have been able to go to the gym for a period of time, and you've got into the habit and the routine of not going to the gym. What are you going to do? I'd suggest one of the things that I do, when you get up, put on your gym kit, put on your running trainers. It's far harder to ignore that prompt all day long when you are physically wearing the clothes that you're required to do some exercise. You can take that one step further by downloading an app which is actually useful to you and putting it on your phone, maybe Strava, something like that. Turn the notifications on for that one so that you're prompted to go for a run, do some exercise, find yourself some local routes, map them out. The more you can visualize it, the more you can see it, the more you know it's well within your reach and grasp, and you're wearing that kit so you can't avoid being aware of that, the more likely you are to start building up that exercise routine. Now, another one of my favourites, because I actually made this mistake myself when I started working from home more, was eating snacks. So how are we going to deal with this one? We'll go over to wherever you order your groceries, pick your delivery slot now, build up a cart of healthy food that doesn't include the snacks that you're tempted to go in the cupboard to each day, and then order it, save the basket so that it's there for future orders too. Already you've changed the prompt, and so it's less likely to happen, and it's actually easier to repeat the behaviour when you've saved the basket for the future. On top of that, you can take it one step further by hiding the nasties away in the cupboard that you don't visually see. Take the fruit, put it out on the side, put it in a fruit bowl, put it next to your desk. You're more likely to eat it. The last problem was getting out and about, which is a very common issue if you've never worked from home before. It's very easy to get the two blurred between each other, and that's because these cues and prompts exist in the same environment. So you want a clear divide between the two. Make sure you get outside, do some exercise, enjoy each of those on a different level. Obviously do some fulfilling work while you're working, then close the door, take the prompt away, give yourself a reward for doing that work so that you enjoy going to work and working at home, but then also make sure you do that equally for your leisure time and personal time, because once the two become blurred, it all gets a little bit murky and grey, and you don't end up enjoying either, which is totally counterproductive. Now, the reason this works so well is because it's the complete opposite of what most people think you need to make progress as you go forward, which is willpower and strong motivation, which undeniably can be useful, but when you structure your environment and behaviours and all those different cues and prompts, cravings, rewards, then it makes it more natural to continue in the direction that's actually more beneficial to you. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and so you start to identify differently because you are behaving differently. You are becoming a different person. As I said earlier on, the objective is to become the person that you want to be and exhibit those behaviours on a permanent basis, rather than just have a very short-term win. So the last thing to say is mastering your own self-discipline is important, as is controlling your own finances and money. So we've got some extra videos here in the end screen that's likely to be useful to you if you found this video helpful. Please don't forget to drop us a like.